The Jericho Mosaic Center is carrying out a clean-up operation of the mosaics of the Crucifixion in the chapel of the Holy Sepulcher in Jerusalem. The code of the Florentine goldsmith Marco di Bartolomeo Rustici and the story of his journey to the Holy Land were the subjects of the gathering and exhibition organized by the Library of the Custody in Jerusalem. In the closing of the World Day of the Sick in the Holy Land, the Commission of the Pontifical Council for Healthcare Workers visited health institutions and celebrated the Eucharist in holy places with the sick. The Tarshiha Orchestra performed in Haifa as a tribute to the musician Riad Sunbati, along with the Palestinian dance troupe Rimaz Modern and the Contemporary Dance Company. But after a while the colors make them shine more than the truth, goes an Italian song. Admiring the mosaics of the Crucifixion Chapel in the Basilica of the Holy Sepulchre these days in mid-February makes one think of the lyrics of this song. The team of the Jericho Mosaic Center can take some of the credit for the cleaning of its mosaics.
This project is a continuity of the old project of Mosaic Center in Jericho in a cooperation with ATS, Italian Cooperation. This project here, it was cleaning and consolidation all the mosaic and the Holy Sepulcher in 11 stations. We were doing this project since 2001, and this project was cleaning and restoration the mosaic. After 16 years, we return back again for this dome of mosaic. We start to clean it again because this mosaic needing all the time maintenance and the cleaning and restoration.
نعمل على تنظيف الفسيفساء.
We usually clean the mosaic tiles because they turn black, mostly as the result of the smoke of candles in church. In order to do this, we use more than one tool. The blower is one of them, in addition to some special products that we use for the cleaning process. We then do some tests on different sections of the mosaic in order to compare the clean one to the one that is still dirty. This will help us make progress on its restoration and reconstruction.
وتجديد الآثار الفسيفساء.
Once you enter the basilica, just climb a few stairs to access the small chapel belonging to the Franciscans, which commemorates the crucifixion of Jesus, and you will be able to see several iridescent mosaics depicting various biblical scenes.
This mosaic, it was, I think, the product in 1925, in the same period of Gethsemane. And this mosaic is very important because first it's in the main important place, Holy Sepulcher. And second thing, it was important about the technique and the decoration, the icons, what have in this mosaic.
This cleaning work is carried out by a team of students and experts who started this artistic adventure 14 years ago.
Noi siamo Mosaic Center, che siamo nati nel 2002 dopo un progetto.
The Mosaic Center was created in 2002 after a project that was implemented by Father Michele Piccirillo with funding for 3 years from 1999 from the Italian Cooperation Organization. The purpose of this project was to train young Palestinians in the restoration of mosaics, to preserve the heritage of Palestine's mosaics.
Sul restauro dei mosaici, praticamente per conservare il patrimonio mosivo della Palestina.
Since then, they have not only carried out numerous projects at the international level in Macedonia, Jordan and Italy, but especially at the local level. One of these programs is the formation of a specialized staff based in Jerusalem, whose main mission is to hand down the profession, to inculcate professionalism, but also to draw the local population closer to their cultural heritage and history, to enable them to rediscover their identity and the memory of their origins.
Vorremmo rafforzare questa identità. Vorremmo far capire ai giovani da dove arrivano e dove andranno. E I beni culturali è un
We would like to strengthen this identity and to make young people understand where they came from and where they are going. Cultural heritage is an important way to make people proud of what they are. We use the cultural heritage and history to strengthen Palestinian identity.
E allora noi utilizziamo i beni culturali, la storia, per rafforzare l'identità palestinese.
A Florentine goldsmith, Marco di Bartolomeo Rustici, lived in the first half of the 15th century and was passionate about the Holy Land. He was the subject of a conference and exhibition on Thursday, February the 11th, organised by the General Library of the Custody of the Holy Land and held at the St. Francis Hall in St. Saviour's Monastery. For the occasion, a facsimile reproduction was exhibited, which is an exact photographic copy of the Rustici Code. It was accompanied by a book containing the critical edition of the entire text, with a study of the sources used and of the images inserted. In the original manuscript kept in the major seminary of the Archdiocese in Cestello, Florence, the artist recounts a trip to Jerusalem and to the Holy Land that he probably never embarked upon.
Il valore di questo documento è grande da 3 punti di vista. Dal punto di vista artistico.
The value of this document is significant from 3 points of view. From the artistic perspective, because Marco Rustici was a goldsmith, therefore he was able to draw, leaving us exceptional illustrations of some monuments, especially in his hometown of Florence. It's interesting also from a historical point of view, because somehow Marco tells the entire history of the world. This trip to Jerusalem was like shaping an encyclopedia of the world, gathering the awareness of the reality around him. It is interesting also from a spiritual point of view, because somehow the centrality of the city of Florence is like that of Jerusalem, since the Council of Florence that had proclaimed the reunification of the Eastern Church with that of the West took place at that time, creating a new beginning for Christian life.
Con quella d'Occidente, e quindi è l'occasione, in qualche modo, Firenze è la grande occasione per ricominciare una vita cristiana.
The value of this book, in a way, provides a missing link between the real diaries where pilgrims actually came to the Holy Land and later works where it became spiritualized. The pilgrimage to the Holy Land became a spiritual journey instead of a real journey. So this book provides something very important. First of all, we see that he never really came to the Holy Land, but he managed to collect all the information from all other past books, collated them, and made them into one volume.
Next to the facsimile of the Rustici Code, various other Holy Land travel manuscripts from the Library of the Custody were exhibited, written in different times and in different languages. Participants in the conference also discussed the difficulties of making a trip to the Holy Land in the 15th century, from organizing the departure, including the need for special permission from the Supreme Pontiff, to complications during the trip itself, with the risk of bad weather, or being attacked, or shipwrecked and then enslaved, and finally having to cope with different cultural customs and traditions and unaccustomed food.
This priceless edition, which has been a truly unique experience.
In tutti I secoli I pellegrini non hanno trovato facile il viaggio verso la Terra Santa.
The texts that the pilgrims left us clearly show that throughout the centuries it was never easy to travel to the Holy Land. However, we know from what they wrote that they knew beforehand about all the difficulties they would encounter, and they were ready to exercise all the patience that was required to be able to enjoy the benefits they would later receive from the pilgrimage.
Per poter arrivare a godere dei benefici che anche il pellegrinaggio loro dava.
Sì, ma era più che altro una cosa simbolica come tutti. Sì, esatto.
The weekend following the World Day of the Sick was dedicated to the conclusion of the week's activities. Instituted by Pope John Paul II in 1985, the Pontifical Council for Healthcare Workers is intended to show the Church's protection of the sick by helping those who care for the suffering, as well as publicizing the teachings of the Church on the spiritual and moral aspects of illness.
Every conference of bishops in a country has a commission for health, and this commission works in hand with the Pontifical Council for Healthcare Workers. It coordinates the Catholic institutions working in healthcare. It works with the faculties of medicine and schools for nursing. It works with the associations of Catholic healthcare professionals like Catholic physicians, Catholic nurses, and Catholic pharmacists.
On Friday, February the 12th, a few committee members visited Capernaum. In the town where Jesus began his public life, they visited the ruins of the synagogue and the places where Jesus exercised his compassion, like the sites where the healing of the paralytic and Peter's mother-in-law took place.
La iglesia quiere caminar al lado del enfermo.
The church wants to walk beside the sick, beside the suffering, holding their pain, and Pope Francis continually urges us to worship the person of Jesus, adoring Jesus' wounds in the wounds of the sick.
Las heridas de Jesús en las heridas del enfermo.
They later visited the Mount of Beatitudes, where an outdoor mass was celebrated. Among the faithful, there was a group of people with special needs who came from Spain especially for this gathering. Maria was an active participant at all times. An infection of the bone marrow 40 days after birth was the cause of her physical limitations.
Y hemos venido aquí a Tierra Santa para celebrar.
We came to the Holy Land to celebrate the World Day of the Sick with other sick people, and to tell the world that if we were able to come to the Holy Land, anybody can take part in these celebrations. We all can be part of this despite our limitations.
Es posible tocar los lugares santos, aunque tengas una limitación.
Constantly confronted by their own limits, just to be able to participate has been a victory for them.
Es como
It is like a dream come true.
realidad.
Speaking of the Beatitudes in the context of illness, the Custos of the Holy Land, Father Pierbattista Pizzaballa, highlighted that Jesus drew from illness a concept of happiness that was not tied to perfection. We cannot understand the meaning of Jesus' words without opening our hearts to the great news he brings us.
Se non siamo disposti a cambiare vita. In genere l'uomo cerca di faticare.
Generally, human beings get tired in building their own happiness. Here on the Mount of Beatitudes, Jesus said we can achieve happiness ourselves. Our possessions are not important because when we die, we lose everything. The Lord taught us that happiness is being captivated by Him.
La possiamo possedere se ci lasciamo conquistare da Lui.
In the afternoon, the group went to Magdala, where a first-century synagogue was recently discovered. Later, they visited Cana, the place where Jesus' first miracle took place, when he turned water into wine. There, they also recited the prayer of Vespers. Couples who work helping the sick renewed their wedding vows there.
Sicuramente rinnovati, sicuramente più forti.
After 20 years of marriage, we have already gone through so many things. However, we go home feeling stronger with much more experience.
Con tanta esperienza in più.
On Saturday, the group visited a few health institutions, such as the Italian hospital in Haifa, run by the Franciscan Sisters of the Immaculate Heart of Jesus, a medical center with advanced technology specialized in oncology and rehabilitation, which has become a landmark in the city.
It is very important for the outside world to know that we not only have many shrines made of walls, but we also have life sanctuaries. We are life sanctuaries. Our patients as well are life sanctuaries.
The day ended with a Eucharistic celebration at the shrine of Mount Carmel in Haifa.
La mia valutazione è molto positiva perché prima di tutto...
My assessment is very positive, primarily because the places where the celebrations took place are suggestive. These are the places where Jesus touched human suffering, where he made many miracles. We know that Jesus Christ also founded our Pontifical Council. He wants humankind to be always close to the sick and suffering.
Ha fondato il nostro Pontificio Consiglio, e cioè lui ha voluto che l'umanità è sempre vicino ai malati e ai sofferenti.
Ringrazio veramente tutti per quello.
I really thank everyone for what they have done, and now we hope to be able to continue this mission of caring for the sick, and especially to create a sensibility towards those who suffer.
Curare una sensibilità verso chi soffre.
Pedro is 37 years old. At 21, while doing a climb, he suffered an accident that left him in a wheelchair. Even without being able to walk or work, he reveals the secret of life.
Something you can do, everybody should do, is smiling. Smiling a lot.
A concert in memory of the late Riad Sunbati, Egyptian musician considered one of the pioneers of Arabic classical music. The Tarshiha Orchestra, founded in 1988, performed in Haifa and presented some of the musical works of the great Egyptian composer in a concert entitled Nostalgia. The event gathered musicians and singers from various regions of the Holy Land in the presence of a large audience passionate about classical music.
عرض اسمه أشواق لأن من أشهر قصائد اللي لحنها السنباطي وغناها في الصوت.
The Tarshiha Orchestra mainly performs an Arab classical music repertoire and has participated in numerous shows at the Opera House in Egypt.
بتأدي كيف لازم على أحسن وجه. قدمت عروض كتير في دار الأوبرا في مصر.
Many people praise the significant artistic renaissance that is taking place in the Holy Land. Art is in fact an important message that unites people of different cultures.
أنا دايما بشوف الرقص بالذات.
Dance, for me, and all art actually, is like a prayer. It softens the harshness of the violent world around us and helps us forget our worries and anxieties. Life is just run and run without stopping.
اللي ياخد نفس.
Terra Santa News is a production of the Christian Media Center in Jerusalem, Holy Land. For more information about Terra Santa News and the Christian Media Center, please check out our website at the bottom of the screen. You'll also be able to subscribe to our newsletter, to view live video feeds from the Holy Land, as well as visit our Facebook and YouTube pages and follow our Twitter feed. Come visit the website of Terra Santa News.